My name is Justin Thompson. This is Alan Ponce.
How's it going?
And welcome to Netflix and Chill, our very new segment where we are going to be reviewing movies that we find on Netflix that most people probably have not seen.
Every movie.
Yeah, every
all
movie.
Yeah,
all
no matter
movies.
how good, how bad, how lesbian erotic, hopefully lesbian erotic, mostly lesbian erotic.
Hopefully
Actually,
android lesbian erotic.
Ex Machina, coming
Machina.
soon.
Exactly.
Don't think we don't see you there. Oh man, I can't wait to start masturbating to Netflix. It's going to be a weird review session.
Yes, it is.
Alright, man. If you're looking to rub a quick one out, this isn't the movie.
Yeah, this isn't the movie for you.
Basic Instinct.
Yeah, Basic Instinct is the movie for you. Today, we're going to be reviewing Frankenstein's Army. Yeah. I hope that worked out, by the way.
Not gonna.
It's not gonna?
Just put it down.
Put it down. Put it on my shirt.
Fuck it, just have it move bouncing along like the...
Like a sing-along?
No, like a screensaver.
Like a screensaver. Boop, 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 boop. That'd be great.
So to start us off with Frankenstein's Army, basically the synopsis of the movie.
Okay. Basically, a synopsis of the movie is it's set in World War II, right? The Russian army is invading. They are trying to take down a lot of the Germans. And they are making there's a guy that is going along with them, documenting everything that they're doing.
So it's Russians versus Germans versus wilderness.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of hiking going on. This movie takes place in, I think,
Romania?
It's a large wooden area, so you get that feeling of isolation. There's a lot of trees. It's winter. Shit's going wrong, and they're clearly the only ones out there. They're an advanced team.
Yeah, they're the only ones out there. They're going and they're invading this small village, which the outliers of the village, they actually take the Nazis out of that part.
Right.
They get them out, they kill them, and then they notice there's this weird thing on one of the Nazis, and he kind of pops back up alive.
Weirder than the skull emblem on their hats?
You remember he had a thing on his fingers.
Yes. Oh, syringes.
Yeah, and stuff. And he popped back up alive. But anyway, I found this movie actually to be very, very good. Like, I was thinking that it was going to be worse, because from the very start look of it, like when you click on it, it doesn't look like it's going to be great.
First off, the movie's called Frankenstein's Army.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, I don't expect a whole lot from it, because remember I, Frankenstein?
Yeah, I, Frankenstein was terrible.
That was awful, terrible. Don't even bother. That's a quick review right there. Boom. Don't watch it.
Even as much as I liked Robert De Niro, the Mary Shelley one he did in the 90s wasn't that great either.
Right.
So like Frankenstein's been treated very badly for a very long time.
Yeah.
So you can't expect much from it. Like, the last time it was treated any good was the 70s, whenever Peter Cushing was Frankenstein. And so...
Also, the character of Dr. Frankenstein hasn't been really viewed as an antagonist, if you will. He's merely just there to introduce the monster and a little bit of the morality of it and go, oh no, science, whatever.
He's never really been the evil one of the story. It ends up always being the monster. But in this movie, it is completely different.
He is absolutely fucking... He's the antagonist in this.
Fucking bonkers. Because it's not the original Frankenstein.
Right.
He's the grandfather of the original Frankenstein.
Keeping up the Frankenstein lineage.
Yeah, and which has happened in movies before.
Mm-hmm.
It's happened plenty of times before. But in this one, he what ends up happening is during World War II, he gets sent to is it Dachau or is it Auschwitz?
Dachau.
Dachau. He gets sent to Dachau. He gets sent to one of the camps, right? The concentration camps. And they figure out that he is of this lineage and he knows how to do all this stuff. So they end up making him do all these experiments on all these dead bodies. And he ends up making, like, super killing machines.
Right.
Out of all of it. And it's, like, weird and fucked up and, like...
He's basically conscripted to make all of these monsters for the Nazi Party. And that what's creepy about it is that you really believe that the Nazis would be willing to do this if they would have got their hands on somebody who can do this, because Nazis, fucking the best scapegoat in history.
Nazis always seem like, no, you can come up with the most ridiculous plan of the most ridiculous way to win a war. Let's just take, let's use trained dinosaurs to go fight in Afghanistan.
That's a great movie.
I understand it. Look, I like Jurassic World, but that is the fucking dumbest thing ever.
No, it is not. Whatever. We're done.
But if Nazis actually came up with that, you'd go, oh yeah, of course they did.
Right.
You know what I mean? That would be like something that they would do. Like,
Right.
there's no way an American actual CIA agent would do that. But there, they totally would. And, like...
millions of dollars to... Whatever, that's not the...
And they like, there's... And it's really bloody. It's really gross. It's all set in this documentary type of atmosphere. So every once in a while, because it's like the 30s and 40s, supposedly in the movie, the film will just cut to black. And then it will be like the second reel starts. You know what I mean? Like, I like that aspect.
Yeah.
It's like he ran out of film. Okay, here's the part where he's more film.
So, so it's just this group of Russian soldiers just basically fighting their way through these waves of monsters, just waves and waves and waves and waves of monsters. And there's also a subplot to this, but we're not going to go ahead and let you know what that is because watch the movie.
Yeah, watch the movie.
It's worth your time. It's absolutely worth your time.
We're not going to tell you the ending. We're not going to tell you anything
because you don't deserve it.
Yeah, you just really need to see it.
You really have to watch it. It was really... What did you like about it? What specifically did you like? Because I've got a ton I liked about it.
I love the idea that it was almost like you were watching it was almost like you were watching some of those tapes from like the 1960s and 70s,
right?
Where they did all these like weird areological tests,
right,
on like these new type of flying machines and stuff. It seemed like a very like a government-esque, almost found footage type of thing. And it wasn't found footage. Like if you watch the movie, you'll know once you see the ending. But it was almost like one of their, okay, let's do this giant experiment. Let's see where it goes.
So the classic Nazi lack of concern.
Yeah, but it's Russian, which is Stalin, which is...
We can cut that.
We can edit that out. That's not going to be it. I don't even know what he dropped.
My phone and 2 games.
I just know he had some shit over here. Oh, he dropped our marker.
Yep.
That's right.
Mark. Mark will get it.
Yeah. That's fine. But no, like I very much like that aspect of it. I like the way it was. I love the way it was shot. I love the way that it was shot.
Found footage, right?
Yeah. And I liked the idea that that the Russian army just doesn't give a shit about rank.
The Russian.
He's like, I've been here for 5 years. Oh yeah, well I am bigger. I am a higher rank than you. He goes, well, fuck your rank. Who gives two shits? Okay.
Like, give it... By the way, find a Russian, ask him what they give a fuck about, and you will be surprised at how short that list is. So in that aspect, they did a very good job of actually showing Russians, it's no big deal, I lose arm.
It's no big deal.
I have another arm. Good 2 arms.
Oh my god, look, the nun, she is missing face.
Ooh.
Boy.
Mother didn't have
How
face.
How did we become Jewish Russians?
Because we do not have good work ethic.
We don't have good word ethic.
Anyway.
See, I couldn't even finish that word.
I feel what I loved about the movie is how many practical effects it actually took.
Yeah,
like,
they did. Everything was all practical effects. There was no CGI in this movie.
Every costume, every iron thing, every monster thing, every time somebody drops from somewhere, that is really them doing it.
Yes, it's really them being Sting.
And pay attention to the Nazi kid.
Yeah.
Absolutely pay attention to the Nazi kid. By far, one of the best cast choices I've ever seen outside of that little girl from Signs.
Yeah, that was really creepy.
That terrifyingly so. So, God, I can't even... That's terrifying. We're going to talk about it behind your back.
This whole movie was great. But most people will never see this movie. That's why we're doing this. That's why we're doing Netflix and Chill. We want you to see some of this shit. All right?
I looked on Google when I was supposed to be doing this, and it's got a 5.3 out of 10 rating on Google, and this is not fair because
I don't think that's fair.
It's a much better movie than giving credit for.
As far as a horror movie, dude, goes, it's one of the best horror movies that I've seen in a long time.
Absolutely.
Like, as far as a horror movie goes, it's close to the 8 category for going by 10. Like, I mean, it's not the best shit in the world, but it's really fucking good. It's way worth your time.
Yeah.
Like, if you got an hour and 25 minutes, sit down, watch it. You'll not be disappointed whatsoever.
Now, to the bad parts about it.
Okay.
There are some bad aspects about the movie, but it's nothing that can't be ignored, which is why we highly recommend this movie. The bad guy acting, the antagonists, not just Dr. Frankenstein, a little bit over the top. Just a little bit to where it takes you out of the fear of it.
There's another antagonist, and he's a little, but But it takes you out of the fear aspect. But once you actually see Dr. Frankenstein, that's all wiped away. It's all once he comes back into the once he's back into the film, it's all wiped away.
And the way they deal with the antagonist, it's kind of pointless considering where the movie goes.
Yeah,
it's just bad. It feels from the beginning like having somebody horrible for the sake of having somebody horrible, and then by the middle, close to the end, it feels like, oh, okay, they just had somebody horrible for the sake of having somebody horrible.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like they owed somebody the whole part. Like they were gonna get their paycheck.
Well, you get to play Sasha.
But as far as notes go, if that's the only note I have for a movie that's what, an hour plus long, like an hour 20?
Yeah.
Then that's pretty good. For an hour 20 worth of work, that's one note I think is good.
Yeah, and I would give this 4 sickles out of 5.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and agree with you. 4 out of 5 sickles could have been scarier, but still amazing.
Hopefully they'll be right down here if I'm not lazy. So
it's going to be bouncing. I fully expect the bouncing. Frankenstein's army.
Boop, 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 boop,
Toasters.
Toasters. Flying toasters of it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We will see you next time on Netflix and
Here's my butt.